everybody. Terilee Harrison here with another edition of Terilee Talks. And today we have a hot topic for you. It's relevant. I think that if you listen in, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, there's something for me here. And so I'm so excited to welcome my guest. Elian Haan is with us. Good day, my friend. How are you?
Good day to you. Thank you so much for having me on today. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
It is my delight to have you as my guest. I would love to introduce my audience of business owners to you more formally. I think they're going to have their how do you say it? Not you're going to knock their socks off. There we go. There's my
Hope so.
phrase. Yeah, no, I'm convinced. I'm convinced because you've knocked my socks off too. So here we go, everybody. Elian is a bestseller and award-winning author, TV show host, and she is an Eric Lofholm International motivational speaker. She spent most of her professional life in the fitness and wellness industry and is a Fowler International Life and Master Coach with a yoga studio and a private practice in Texas. Sounds amazing, right, guys? Elian is specialized in midlife and transformational coaching and known for her straightforward coach approach, presenting and sharing her life lessons with a good dose of joy, humor, and energy. After years of counseling and somatic work at an addiction rehab facility, her expertise lies in trauma-informed care, addiction recovery, grief, PTSD, depression, and anxiety intervention. It is so amazing to have you here with such a broad background and breadth of experience. Yeah, I'm serious.
Thank you, Jill. That was not short. After I realized when you read, it looked short on paper, but it was not short.
Where you're like, oh no. You know what? Some people can't do it short. It's good.
Mm,
It's good. It's
Trying to
good.
put it in there. Yeah,
It's good.
trying to put it
So,
out there.
so no, you should. I highly recommend. I highly recommend. So our topic that's going to knock some of your socks off is we're going to talk about the triangle transformation. 3 tips to reset and restart when you're suffering from overload, stress and anxiety, or burnout. Oh my gosh, you guys, like how many people have that?
We all do.
We
And
all
that is
do.
that is my audience, and that is my clients, and that is my speaking topic, and that is my patients. It is, for the last 10 years when I work with patients, it's just this thing where we all suffer from stress, burnout, anxiety, and when that becomes bigger and when it becomes more, then it becomes a depression, a state of depression, right? And a lot of people, unresolved trauma, just kind of running through life and not taking care of themselves. And so for me, it was always really important to create a sense of awareness and in the moment and mindfulness with people to find out where we're at. Where are you at this moment? And what do you feel and how can I help you move forward? And with trauma and with grief and pain and PTSD, it's always really big for me to tell clients that they should not just listen to people say you'll get over it. Because I think my biggest thing with my coach approach, which is always really appreciated, is that I tell them, no, you won't get over it. But as the topic of my book is as well, life is never easy, but you get better at it, right? So life doesn't become any easier ever, but you become better at it when you get the tools and you get the tips to reset and to kind of reassess where you are at the moment and how you can move forwards. And I call that with trauma, I call that move with, move through, move forwards, and move up with your
Mm,
trauma. Because move up is always, that's where it all is, right? That's where we all want to go. And
absolutely.
so if we call it stress or anxiety, we all just, yeah, we all have something in our backpack. Absolutely.
We all do,
Absolutely.
and it probably ebb and flows depending on what's happening. Sometimes it's big, and sometimes it's more toned down. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And also, I always really try to make my patients aware, my clients aware that there is a big difference between stress, anxiety, and depression. And I
Mm,
won't go into that now, right? Because I mean, we all have our daily stresses, and we definitely need to simply set one-on-one. Uh, we just have to be able to see our daily stress and accept it for what it is. Watching the news or getting some bad news or just really being stressed out or having a lot on your plate. We have to separate that from anxiety, where you're constantly worried about what will come. right? And try to control the future and try to control the outcome. And
Yep.
that is not always possible. And we can definitely have a lot of techniques for that too. On my show, I talk about a lot of anxiety techniques, mindfulness, breathing, yoga, exercise, that kind of stuff. So that is important to know. But for this, what I call the not so American dream, these symptoms, this problem,
Mhm.
my outcome usually starts with the triangle transformation and really
Sure.
bring people back to the mind, body, spirit mindset. What can we do for ourselves? And how can we feel better? How can we just become overall more in that moment? There's a very fun example that I can give you
Yeah.
about a test that I used to do with my patients. And I would say, close your eyes. We're all going to close our eyes for 1 minute and then describe the person that is sitting next to you to me after this 1 minute. And this was all about awareness and mindfulness. And and I can't. We all can't. I mean, that mindfulness aspect of our life to describe things that you are looking at has become so difficult. And this is proven through tests. I had this from a test from somebody else where I read it way long in the future because I started doing that and knowing that. For instance, if you would describe me, you would say, well, she's medium tall, blonde, big eyes, and no, she talks with her hands. Four things on average, very general things, four things on average that we can describe each other with. But what my mom used to do long time ago, way a long time ago, when my mom would come home and say, uh, describe somebody by the nose, the chin, their eyebrows. I cannot even remember if somebody had a pair of glasses on or not if I saw a couple of clients during the day. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to become back to, or we have to come back to this awareness. And that's the very first thing that I help people with when it comes to anxiety and stress and depression and so forth. And once we're going through that, and that was always a good thing to play and a good thing to be aware of that you can play that anywhere and start becoming in the moment. And
Mm.
then from there, I go into the three things that give us a major outcome.
Awesome, awesome. Well, let's talk about those three things, and I think that this is some of the things where we're going to knock the socks off of our listeners. They're be like, "Yeah, I need more of that." So let's talk about stopping expectations. Ooh,
Mm. A
mm,
big thing, yes. My expectations. My book that I wrote was big time about expectations. I felt it's 60 miles from Neiman's letting go of expectations. I felt that for a long time I was living in that expectation framework of what other people were wanting me to be or to do or to become, right? So of course first we do what our parents want us to become, very much so. And in a lot of, hopefully including my own situations, it's the best thing that we can give our children to say, hey, you're good at
mm,
this, let's go that way.
mhm,
But it can also really backfire if there is too much pressure of that. And then
mhm,
in the second phase of our life, in our 20s, we go into that expectation frame of everybody buys their, studies, go to college, or gets a good job, or goes, to do a great trade study. And then we have to, with that, our expectation frame is set that we have to do something with that, which is get married, have children, and 2.5 child later in a big 5 bedroom home, we are over our head into the not so American dream. Back to the title,
mm.
right? So we're all stressed out. We have anxiety. We have lots of debt, and I had lots of clients that just in their relationships, that's where it started. Just not seeing that they were way over their head into that expectation frame. The picture looks great on the mantle, right, with the happy family and the great outdoors and indoors, but we do not see through that picture that both are thinking, I don't have time. I'm working 2 jobs. How I'm going to mow the front and the back lawn. I don't want to change diapers, all that thing, right? So that is just really leading in a lot of cases, even to what I call the five big boo boos. And the five big boo boos that you do to yourself are just procrastination. That's the first thing. We're going to do everything next Monday, right? We're going to fall off the wagon with self-respect because I didn't do it yesterday. I
Mm.
didn't do it Monday, and now Tuesday I'm going to beat myself up into negative thinking, into losing self-respect for I can never do anything right, that whole thing. And then the fourth boo boo is that we're gonna fear. We're gonna fear everything that comes at us. We're gonna fear the things that we might not be able to do good. And then the last thing is that you just go into a place of anger and resentment. And all these boo boos usually even lead to somewhat substance abuse or depression or medication, that kind of thing. Right? We're just on the couch, basically on the couch.
Mm.
So that expectation frame is so big. There's three motives to it. I mean, the second one is of course the big expectations that I put on others. I gotta
Mhm.
let that go, right? Do this not the same thing to others as I don't want to be done to me. And
Yep.
then the third thing is just high expectations to self. I'm really bad at that. I can tell you that from example. I mean, I just make this to-do list and I want to get it all done and it's just a lot and it's just not realistic, really. It's
Mm.
sometimes not realistic. I'm more aware of it, and that is the whole point, right? When you're more aware of it, you can catch yourself doing it and go back into that moment of stop, take a breath, and reassess. So
Mm.
that's the number one thing. Expectations is so big.
It is so big, and we
So
can do it
big.
to ourselves and everyone all around us, right? And just how about a little bit more grace for everyone? Oh my gosh. So yeah,
Yes.
no, that's such an important topic, and I love it that you take that on and that you help people with it because it can change their life, right? When they
Yes.
quit setting them and being so rigid with them. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Yes. And when you
Right?
stop that, you really become the rebel that you have to be. I say that so much, not in a negative sense, but a creative rebel or an outgoing rebel, or just you might make a difference, be yourself, know your purpose and your why kind of stuff. So that you can really just bring you to the world, your unique self. And too many of us just walk into that pattern of expectations. So I see sadness in that because a lot of people don't let go of their in fear of judgment and fear
Right,
of fitting in and all that stuff. And,
right.
we have more. We definitely have more to us.
So
Absolutely.
good. So good. So let's talk about the second tip that you have for us, and it's huge too. She's just taking on some huge things to help all of us live better lives, everybody. So the second tip is to live with respect. Tell us about that.
That starts again with me because I did everything wrong. So that I hope to be now a little wiser, right? And I don't know, I know it, but this is so important for me. I saw that a lot of relationships lack respect for each other. And to me, with my past, I have also gone through that, where I just said, I love you, I love you, I love you. But at some point, you might lose respect for somebody, right? That the person is not what you expect them to be. But even letting go of expectations and not having any expectations, so we can get disappointed, we might just lose respect in general. And that has a lot to do with how you treat your family or how you treat your friends, or what do you do for work, or why are you not picking up the slack, or why are you doing too much, not paying in any form, right?
Wow. Mhm.
And so, secondly, with respect, we need to just not give it to others to make them feel good and loved, but we also need to get it to be seen and to feel needed and to have that sense of worthiness and to have that sense of be heard and be seen. Because I went through job situations as well where that was not the case, and that is so sad because it's a really sad thing if you feel lonely, not being seen and heard.
Mhm.
And so that goes both ways again, right? Or there's two aspects to it. But respect in relationships, a lot of people said to me later on, I can't believe you brought that up because that was it.
Mm.
That was why I had to let go of that relationship. And I just didn't know what it was, but I just didn't like the way that, he treated his family, or I didn't like the way that she treated me, that kind of thing.
Mm.
So, yeah, sometimes bigger than love, and we don't think about it enough. It's such a big word to me. It's for me, it's a big word because I went through a lot of times in my former life, I call it, where um, my previous life, where I just didn't feel at all that I was seen and heard, and
Mm.
that's big. We all need it. We all need it.
We all do need it. And when you think about looking for respect from others, but also I'm gonna call myself out now and say, and I, want to treat others with complete respect. And am I, like, who am I being? Am I showing up as respectful? So you just, thank you for just even making us think about that. And some of you watching, any of you might be in a relationship with someone that they're not treating you with respect, and maybe you weren't as aware as you are now that Elian has mentioned it to you. So we encourage you to really look at those relationships and see, if you can't set a boundary and
Mhm.
change. How about this? Change your life, right?
Absolutely. And so many people go with respect back to, well, that is something that you have to deserve. But that doesn't, that's the old way of how I was brought up. Respect comes
Mhm.
with hard work, right? As long as you
Mhm.
get up, and I'm from the 80% show up and 20% knowledge generation. And yes, I did the work, but I think that it has a lot to do with love. Respect is just,
Mhm.
it's the same, but it's treating people a different way, even if they haven't done it yet to you, or you don't see it yet that they haven't accomplished everything. You can just bring that up in a more gentle way by just loving and respecting people on what they're trying to be. And if it's not really working for you, then you step away from it. But that's their space, right? And we just don't have enough respect for that space. Somebody can be 180 degrees different than I am. Is it 180 or 160? 180. Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not good with numbers.
Me
Also,
either.
somebody can be completely different than I am. And I had to start learning. I had to learn so big time that I can't put my expectations, all I do, why are people not like me, yada, yada, pick it up, yada, yada. I can't. Some people are just completely different. They walk in a different pace and they walk in a different path. They walk in a different path. And I started respecting that more and letting that go. And if it didn't fit around me, then it just didn't fit around me.
Mm. So good, so good. So I don't know if our audience is ready for the third tip, but it's a also a game changer. You ready? It is stop taking things personally. Okay, tell us all about it.
I actually read that in the famous book, The Four Agreements, and that
Mhm.
was the second one. And I had so much love for this book because it taught me so much. And it really was the beginning of probably about 20 years ago, this little transformation for myself. Definitely. Right from expectation to transformation. Took a long time, not there ever, but it's just this long path that you can start seeing. I was there and I had a yoga studio, and I was always so worried about, people coming in and wanting to try it out, and what if people just would not come back the next day? I would lose two or three clients. And I was taking that so personal. I was just devastated, and I would just be in a bad mood and think negative and lose self-esteem, the whole boo-boos, right? All the boo-boos to myself. And I'm going to do something different, or maybe not thinking about the fact that if I would not take that personal, in the first place, they might just not come back because it was cheaper around the corner, or they rather go sit on a bicycle instead of doing Zumba with me. Or maybe it was just me putting so much on those people,
Mhm.
taking it personal. I didn't see the 10 people that were still there already for years. I didn't see it. I didn't accept and acknowledge and just respected what I had there. And all those people that loved the classes, I was just so worried about the one or two people that wouldn't come back. I would take it personal. So look at your accomplishments more and more and more. Accept yourself for all the accomplishments and wonderful things that you have done. And look at the people that love you and not the people that leave you. Right? So that
Mm.
is very important there. And I just, it's such a big one in the book. And I just made it one of my big ones. I stole it. Thank you, Mr. Ruiz. But I stole it because I do it all the time. I still do it. And then I catch myself. There's my awareness and my mindfulness. I step away from it. I have to look around. I have to look behind me and see, wow, I did this. I overcame this already 3 times. I just did this already 10 times. I know I can do it. Just another hurdle. I get better at it. Life does not become easier, but I get better at it.
Hmm.
That's my three
Yeah,
main things that I love to talk about.
they are so amazing. And, the Four Agreements book is famous. I remember a friend from years ago, and conversation always, almost every time we talked to her, led back to, well, in the Four Agreements, just, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
that powerful. It's just that powerful. And too often, you're right, we focus on those who have left, not those who love us
Mhm.
and they're still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like,
Yeah.
oh, it hurts your feelings. No.
Yes.
So what I love about the things you're talking about is that, these are the human condition, and we all experience them, and we just don't perhaps talk about them
Yeah.
on an everyday basis. But that's why having someone like you in our lives, to follow you, to perhaps come in and read your book, to perhaps come in and do a course, they can be super helpful. So I'd love to invite you. I'm gonna share here how people can get in touch with you. But if someone's like, oh my gosh, she's my person, she is my person. How can they connect with you? Tell us more.
Definitely, I would love to do a free coaching session, 30 minutes, a phone call or a Zoom, or come on in my practice if you're in the neighborhood. I would love to do that with anybody listening. So connect with me on Linktree. That's the easiest way. I have a beautiful website as well, but I'm just kind of like actually working on it to put more stuff on there. Linktree is just right there. You can make an appointment, schedule a call. Go ahead and follow me. I would love that. I would love to hear from you.
It's been my delight to chat with you today, to learn more about some of these top tips that you give. I see all the things you're doing, and admiring your work. And so I thank you for being able to share this with my audience. And I invite you all to connect with Elian. Everyone, look forward to seeing you here next time at the next edition at Terilee Talks, where we'll talk with another one of my business owner friends about 3 top tips to help you in your life and business. So everyone, take care. Thank you, dear Elian, and
Thank
see
you
you all
too.
next
My
time.